Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here in my home state. It's really exciting to be here. There's a picture on your side and on the left, on my left and my right. And just take a look, just take 10 seconds. And if you can shout out 1, 2, 3 that you recognize or that resonate or that might mean something to you. So there's an assortment of people, assortment of businesses, locations. I will start picking out names. I know half of you. Mala Muhammad. Thank you very much, Samad Bello. Perfect. A legendary figure, larger than life, presence for days. Anyone else want to go? Pyramid of Giza. We don't even know exactly which AD it was built, but we are enjoying the legacy of it. Year on year, we travel to go and visit it. Last one, last takers. Sorry, Taj Mahal, the epic love story. The reason we have Taj Mahal today is because 500 years ago, a man lost his wife. And in epic grief, this legacy of something like 40 hectares worth of land, developed gardens and this monument of ivory, white ivory, that took about 5, 6, 7 years to build, mourning his wife. That's legacy. She will never know he did this as an act of love. As a monument that you and I, generations to come, will visit, take pictures, and say, this is there. And legacy is a lot like that. There's a certain level of audacity, and thank God Nigerians are not lacking in audacity at all. There's a level of audacity, determination, and commitment you need to consider how do you start building your legacy. Conversely, and I hope you don't think I'm being contradictory, there's a humility in knowing that your time is short, in knowing that you will likely start shaping tomorrow today, but you may not see what tomorrow looks like. The generations that come after you will not know the seed that you have shown. And there's something very human about that. It's humility. I'll cross over to look at this. If I had to codify and say, what do we want to look at if you're ever in that journey of how you want to start looking at your legacy and what it might mean to you? It's very important to have a legacy mindset. What does long-term thinking look like? A lot of us, if you're in finance, you're looking at maybe quarterly reports. If you're in marketing, you're looking at weekly reports. At most CEOs, we're looking at annual. When you're building legacy, you're thinking generations. You're thinking of generations to come. You're thinking of the first footstep you put. Mandela's revolution, as Tracy Chapman would say, that started like a whisper. He didn't wake up, and in 30 years, he managed to overthrow an apartheid government. It took decades. Some violence, some non-violence, a lot of being arrested and incarceration, but he got to where he needed to go. So your ability to be consistent, to be intentional is vital if we want to see that success happen. Long-term thinking also implies that you're going to look at more of your vision. You have to remove yourself from it, remove your ego, and say to yourself, well, without me, how does this outlive me? You also then need to start looking at sustainable structures. What does sustainable structure look like? Is there adaptability? Will it also go past AI? Will technology affect it? Will Nigeria happen to it? By God's grace, never. You then look at system building. System building means you need to codify. A lot of us hold a lot of institutional knowledge that we don't like to share. Your sister might know something she doesn't share with the next Hajjah, and before you know it, it stops at your line. You need to not hold on. Gatekeeping can be incredibly dangerous. There's a time for it. It's not when it comes to legacy building. We struggle with succession. Succession means facing your mortality. It means your end of planning, as it were. But the joy that comes in knowing that somebody else will continue the good fight on your behalf is something you have to be willing to let go of. Again, it speaks to that ego. Lastly, you have to look at creating enduring value. How do you create enduring value? How do you ensure that where you start continues to shape lives? And I might have mentioned what I call archetypical people. I might have mentioned very grand ideas. But when you really dial down to the minutiae of it, the Great Wall of China started off with one brick. The Taj Mahal started off with a crying husband. The University Ibadan, I think one of the oldest institutions in Nigeria, First Bank, they all started off with a dream that formed into a real thought, a thought that manifested into an idea that came up with a plan, and then suddenly an action. I work for an organization called Urban Shelter. If you've heard of it, please clap your hands. Thank you very much. That means a lot. The clapping you've done is part of the legacy that you are all shaping in this Urban Shelter. It started by one man's idea 40 years ago, who invited his brother So we have 001 employee, 002 employee. By the way, 005 is still with us 35 years on. It's a very interesting organization where 20% of the people working there have been there for 25 years and above. 50% have been there for 10 years and above. I'd like to tell you what the secret is, but it's actually something not quite definable. It starts with the core values of founders, of basing business on ethics, on core values, on principles that are really cannot be compromised. Integrity, honesty, trust, and credibility. And it dials down into every action we take. What's really interesting about the legacy of that company is that it has borne fruit of at least 4 or 5 companies that will remain nameless, real estate organizations, just in Abuja alone. Those are the ones I know. I wouldn't even say the ones that are indirect. It's borne fruit and affected another 10 or so organizations, from manufacturing industry to hospitality industry, infrastructure industry, power, electrical distribution, and a trust foundation as well that's just about 4 or 5 years old. It's manifesting, it's showing up from a core group of 300 Urban Shelter directly to indirectly 1,000. By the time you culminate all of these organizations, you have a situation where one man's dream, his ability to dare to dream, formulate into an idea, a thought process, a plan, and then into actionable points, has meant that he is creating jobs for tens of thousands. It means he's boosting manufacturing in the hundreds of thousands. It means he is boosting the economy across Nigeria in terms of wealth creation, in terms of poverty alleviation, in terms of improvement across lives. And that is what the impact of legacy can do. Imagine if all of us were to have that long-time thinking. When you look at it from a point of purpose, you realize once you find the purpose and the passion in what you do, the rewards come back in tenfolds. So as we leave here today, just think about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items you might be willing to do. What does it look like for you and your legacy? Because we're already living our legacy now today. If you had to start shaping your tomorrow, what 1 or 2, 3 things would you start acting in this moment? Really think about it. Surround yourself with people that are like-minded. If you're you want to be an A-star student, you join the A-star group. God forgive me, you want to be a thief, you also know where to go. Be careful with that. Exactly. Build your tribe around you very carefully. Understand that it will take time, that Rome was really actually not built in a day, but also understand that the journey of 1,000 miles does start with that one step. I'll leave you with one very small story about me personally, which talks about a very small legacy, maybe 2 stories actually. I was in China 30 years ago in a hijab, and I'm somebody that I don't shake men and women in general, and I felt somebody touch me, and I was affronted, turned around. There was a Chinese lady in full hijab. She was smiling. So happy to see somebody like-minded in her. My hijab is my legacy. You tend to see me a lot with it, alhamdulillah. She was so excited. All we could say to each other is Salaam alaikum. We were happy, like long-lost sisters. She got her husband to take a picture of us. I dream that there is some household in China somewhere where a picture of me, black lady, and the Chinese lady is hanging up, and she's maybe talking about me as I'm talking about her today. Lastly, another last enduring legacy is that the organization I'm in, I'm hoping somebody will be on this stage in 30, 40 years' time, having this conversation, showing this same clip, hopefully with not me sweating, and talking about how I discuss legacy and how I may or may not be alive then, but they're reinforcing the fact that legacy continues to go on long after we're away. Thank you very much.